Hello friends, welcome to the studio. Did you see what we're going to use today? I bet you're excited. We're going to be making art with Legos, but we're not going to be building our art. We're going to be using the Legos in a different way, and I hope you enjoy it. Before we start making the art though, I want to talk to you about something called symmetry. And symmetry is a word we use in art for talking about balance. If I take a Lego and put it on this side of the paper to start to make something, if I take a second Lego and put it here, I've created symmetry. If I take a third Lego and put it here, it's not symmetrical anymore. Symmetry means that one half of my art is the same as the other half, left and right, or top and bottom. So to have symmetry, it needs to go back to this. Left side, right side, top, bottom. You can find lots of examples of symmetry all around your home. Why don't you look for some after we do our project? So if I want to keep making symmetrical Lego art, I might start taking other Legos, and I just want to make sure that top and bottom and left and right match. They don't have to always match exactly because this is art. So if I took this one away and I took this one away, it's not perfectly symmetrical, but it's close, and in art, close counts. So that's interesting. That's fun. But I want us to do something a little more. So now I want to talk to you about a different kind of symmetry. Circles have symmetry. Go and find some things that are in your home that are circles and take a look at them. And I'll wait. Okay. So what you've seen I've drawn here looks like a star, right? If we're thinking about the symmetry we just looked at, there's my left side, there's the bottom, but I've added some more lines of symmetry. So if I put Lego pieces on each line of symmetry, I end up with a circle, right? And if I do it again with some new Legos, make another circle around the first one. There we go. But I'm going to get fancy and make this second circle a pattern by putting these one dot yellow pieces in between. You might notice that my blue pieces I organized. I separated them out and then I clicked them together into stacks. And I just did that to make it easier for me to find the pieces that I wanted. And it was actually pretty fun. So you might want to do that too for this project, but you don't have to. If you like searching for your pieces while you're working, that's fine too. All right. This is also symmetrical. Right side, left side, bottom, or top, bottom. Oh, look. It's symmetrical that way too. In fact, the cool thing about a circle is if I divide it in half through the center, any way I turn the covering paper, I get a half, an equal half to the other side. Maybe if I try it this way, you'll see it better. See? I'm trying to make sure the paper is going through the center. So every time I'm dividing it in half, and both halves are the same, and that makes symmetry. Now you don't have to leave the center empty. You could put something in the middle. In circular symmetry or radial symmetry, the only thing that is unique is what is in the center. Isn't that neat? I bet you never thought you could make art with Legos like this. I'm pretty excited about it. So what you want to do today is make a really fancy, complicated design. And it has a name because circle art is something that a lot of artists all over the world and from all times have created. There's a word that we often use for circle art, mandala, and that's a very old word from a language called Sanskrit that was spoken long ago in India. And mandala means circle. And even today in India, at the holiday Diwali, people will make circle designs called rangoli or rangoli. I'm not sure which way to say it. But those are circle designs made with flowers and crushed up spices. And in a country nearby, the country of Tibet, there are people called monks. They make mandala designs using crushed up and powdered stones. And even here in the United States, in the Southwest, there are a people called the Navajo, and they make mandala designs. They have a different name for them, made with colored and powdered sand. So that's what we're going to do today. We're going to make a mandala. Now, mandalas can take a long time. Tibetan mandalas can take several days to make. So what I've got here is a book that I'm not reading right now. It's kind of like a tray. And if you have a tray, use a tray. But if you don't have a tray, you can use a book. And I'm going to start building my mandala on my book, on this piece of white paper. So when I want to stop and take a break, I can just set it aside and nothing will happen to it. It would be fun to start with a design in the center that's unique and special. So I got one of the flat pieces of Lego because I can click things on there to make a design. And this design is going to be unique. It's the only thing in the design. It's the very center. And now that I've got my center, I can start making my circles all around. If you want a guide like this, I can make one for you on a piece of paper. But you don't need a guide if you just keep thinking you're going around in circles, right? As you're building, you can think about whether or not you want to have spaces in your design or if you want to have pieces touch. Spaces can give your pieces room to breathe, visual breathing. It won't look so cramped and crowded and tight. But it's also nice to make bigger things, too many there on that side. It's also nice to make bigger things that touch. Sometimes when I stop and go away from my project for a while, and then I come back and I look at it again, I see new ideas, a different idea. An idea that I like better. So you might want to try that. Remember, it's important to make a pattern so that your design is radially symmetrical, so that it's balanced. And you will see if you forget to put something somewhere. It won't look right, and you'll see it right away. You want your pattern to show. So I would use 1 or 2 or 3 colors. I would stay away from using the rainbow in your design. You might even want to use 1 color, very, very little, so that it's super special. Like right now, this teal color is only in the center. So if I just put some teal pieces here, maybe touching. No, I don't like that. Make that really, really special. Now I think there's too many of these yellow pieces here. Take those away. Mandalas can be made just for celebration or decoration, but they can also be made for contemplation, which is a special kind of thinking where you just focus on what you see in front of you and you try to calm your mind and just let the colors, the shapes, the shadows be. And in fact, when Tibetan monks make mandalas, at the end, they have a special ceremony to clean up the mandala and brush it all away. And then you have a fresh surface on which you can start again. Before we go, I wanted to show you a mandala that I made earlier. Here it is. So I started off doing just a blue mandala, and I like the way the different shapes stand out because of the spaces around them. And then I put some other blues in the mandala. Then I tried changing some of the shapes. So the same shapes, but in a different color. And I got a different artwork. And then I started doing some building of shapes. And I think this would be fun to do too. So I did start clicking shapes together and putting shapes on top of shapes. I really like the shadows that start to appear as the pieces get higher off of the table. Here's a picture I took before I cleared it away of the side, so you can see the pieces as they're stacked. All right, friends, have fun. I'll see you next time.